Welcome to the KIDDO online assessment tool. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your organisation to start running the KIDDO challenge. Each organisation will have a staff member that's allocated as the administrator who has the ability to add classrooms and assign teachers to those classrooms. Let's get started. To add classrooms to your school, select Classrooms on the left here. To add a new class, the button is here on the top right. You can enter a name for each class, add the year group, and allocate that to your school. We'd suggest that you do all of your classes up front. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and allocate students to those classes. You can find the students in the left sidebar here. To add a new student, again, the pink button in the top right. Enter their first name and their last name and assign them to their respective classroom. You should also enter their date of birth, as well as their sex, and their preferred hand if you know it. You have the option to enter an email address for their parents or guardians, as well as their first and last name. We are also developing an importer for the tools, which will allow you to use your class lists to import students en masse. Once you have all your students set up, you're ready to get assessing. To set up an assessment, you select Assessments from the left sidebar here, and create the assessment again in the top right. Select your organisation first and your class. You can see at the top here you have all the students allocated to that class listed. You can choose as few or as many students as you want. You can choose the challenges that you want to include in your assessment. The full KIDDO challenge includes the 5 challenges listed here. However, if you don't have the facilities or the equipment to run a particular challenge, for example, you might not have 30 or 50 metres of free space to do the run challenge in, then you can deselect that so it doesn't take up time when you're assessing students. Once you have your assessment set up, click Create Assessment. When you're ready to assess the students, you can access the Assessor dashboard. You will see the assessments that have been created here. To begin the assessment, press the play button. You will see here listed the students that you've allocated to this assessment, and here we only have one. The system is set up to assess one student at a time. When you're ready, enter the student, and you can see that the 5 challenges come up. If you haven't read the full instructions up the top here, you can read the instructions for each individual skill by clicking on the magnifying glass. Here's the balance, for example. When you're ready to assess the child, select the skill and it will take you into the recording platform. All skills that require timing, such as balance, bounce and catch, and the run, have a stopwatch included. You have the option at this stage to save the result directly from the timer, or to manually enter the result by selecting this button. You should select the leg that the child used, so you make sure that you get 2 trials on each leg. For each challenge, you also have the option of assigning observations. For example, you might use these to inform your teaching. However, we'd suggest that you only use these if skills are recorded, as it can be challenging to pick up these skill features when you're doing a real-time assessment. You can select these if you choose, simply by clicking or touching on your touchscreen. To save the result and move on to the next trial, hit the Save Result button. To go back to the skills, select up the top here. The assessment tool will show you how many trials you've completed for each skill. As I mentioned before, the bounce and catch and the run both include timers. Standing broad jump and kick for distance is a manual entry. The jump is entered in centimetres and the kick is entered in metres. Again, you have the option to select observations if you wish. As you can see, you get a progress report from the student, but results are updated in real time, so you don't have to complete the full test to go back and see the results. To see the results for the student, select Access Admin Panel and then navigate to Results in the left sidebar. As you can see, for our test student, we have a balance trial recorded. You can see the time for each trial here, and then the best score for each challenge across the bottom. To generate a PDF report that you might want to send to parents, select the PDF button on the side here. As you can see, all of the skills that you assessed have automatically been added in, as well as the parent's name if available, and the student's name. You can see the score here, as well as a percentile rank based on all other students from that age group. The report also shows or gives instructions to parents and teachers for interpreting the results.